This is Alternative Facts Chicago, your source for music, sports, entertainment, reality TV, politics, and most importantly, all things Chicago. Now, let's get into today's show with your hosts, Bobby and Beyond.
All right, this is episode 13, Alternative Facts Chicago. What up, B?
Hey, what's up, boy? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling. Our last episode, we broke numbers, man.
It was huge.
It was like Nate came through. He dropped knowledge on us. He's still married and happy.
Absolutely.
Even though, Cody and Danielle.
Done.
I know. Very
you
sad.
Called that low key.
Yeah, I did. I figured, it was very respectful the way they did it. But Nate, he killed it. Great guy. Really good dude. Like the way he's on
Absolutely.
The show, he's like that, the same person outside of the show.
For sure. He did a great job too. Great interview. It was a good episode. The feedback was awesome. All positive. We actually rocking his shirts. I'm not impressed. So we'll have it on Instagram later.
Absolutely.
He hooked up the shirts too. So congrats. Thanks to Nate Duhan for coming on the show. What's his clothing line again? Make sure you hype that up for him.
Vocal T.
Absolutely. Make sure you check it out.
www.vocalt.com.
For sure. And check him out. He's good people. So thanks once again, Nate, for coming on the show.
Yes, sir.
What else we got today?
All right. So real quick, we are going to be, releasing out to our fans the round table we did with Royal. It was like the round table.
Beans, yep.
Royal Beans. So that's coming out soon. So we're just waiting for the full clip. I know we dropped a snippet a couple of days ago.
For sure.
So be on the lookout for that. It was such a great conversation about, just being black podcasters in Chicago.
Yeah, it was a good look. What was the other podcast that was on there as well too?
It was like the Black Girl
Report. A good woman as well in Chicago. It was just a good discussion, kind of talking about what it is to be a black podcaster, doing podcasting in general. Also just talking about the city and how we can help out, from a vocal point of view. So the snippet was released. The full video will be released any day now. So we'll be on all our social media. And when that's released, we'll release it out to you, the public, as well. But man, our podcast has been doing great. Episode 13. We've been killing it.
Yeah, we've been ranked 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row on the iTunes comedy section. Who would have ever thought? So all the doubters, I'm sorry, but we're here to stay as well, too. So we got more sponsors coming up, and I think we're going to talk about that and mention that briefly here, how we can get more sponsors as well, too. Go over that, B.
Yeah, so, we're on Advertise Cast.
Yep.
So, look us up, Alternative Facts Chicago. For all sponsors, we'll make sure to, give you a 15-second, 30-second rollout, mid, pre, post. So make sure, you check us out on advertisecast.com/ Alternative Facts Chicago.
Absolutely. Good. So, we're always looking for more sponsors. We're getting a lot of calls, but absolutely, it's got to make sure it's going to fit and be right for us as well, too.
Yes.
And coming up soon, we do have a big announcement coming up. We're so excited to release it. We just can't as of yet. So, just for legal reasons, but it is coming up soon. Make sure you look out for that, too.
Yeah, we got to make sure the bag is right.
Absolutely. But it's coming. A lot of big opportunities coming for us, and we just want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting us since February. And we're here to stay. We're just getting bigger and better, and we're definitely improving. So we thank you all for the support. We got a lot of good topics, but before we get into that, we definitely have to pay some bills. This is our best sponsor. They've been rocking with us for some time. We love these guys at Quantum 9. This portion of the podcast is sponsored by FireJeffSessions.com. Anybody that supports medical cannabis, please visit FireJeffSessions.com and buy a t-shirt where the proceeds go towards getting our Attorney General who hates cannabis out of office. Remember, that's FireJeffSessions.com. Shouts out to Kevin, Michael, Tom Mays, Green Wave. We love those guys as well, too. So make sure you support them.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people who have cancer, they need that to help relieve a lot of the pain. So get it together, Jeff.
Absolutely. So, we got a lot to talk about. I think we need to not waste more time. And we actually haven't been on the past week, so obviously everyone knows what's been going on in Charlottesville. I think we definitely need to give our thoughts and opinions on the whole topic. And just from my personal point of view, man, I don't know if you saw my status. I think it was like last Wednesday or Thursday. I just put up a topic about everything that happened in Charlottesville. And I don't think my Facebook has ever blown up more in the next 24 hours than it ever did in the history of my life. It was absolutely crazy. So basically, I just kind of put up a post just mentioning that, I don't know if Donald Trump, in one of his speeches, I thought, and if you look up the transcripts, point blank period, he pretty much supported, all those in Charlottesville, the white supremacists and the KKK, kind of, not necessarily condemning them for what they did, and not even necessarily supporting it, but didn't necessarily like put them down. And I kind of just, hinted at it, saying, our president or our supposed president, pretty much supported and, didn't bash them for, what they were doing in Charlottesville. And that's all I did. I just kind of left it there, threw a oop to see what happens. And man, my Facebook, I had over like 180 comments just back and forth. People agreeing with me, people disagreeing with me, and it was absolutely crazy. Did you see that, B?
Man, it was pandemonium in that section. I was literally coming through there with a rocket launcher, just like sniping at people. It was crazy to see how many closet, uninformed, racist there are out there. Like, it's absolutely like asinine at the amount of people that were just coming out the woodworks. And for me, just the fact that people can't look outside of themselves,
right,
and they can't see things from another person's perspective, that's very alarming. Because my whole thought process around that is, before growing up, we used to always joke like, yeah, once those racists who are like 40, 50 years old or whatever, they're going to die off in a couple of years, whenever, we're at their age. And it's just like, man, it's a whole nother generation of these white supremacists that are out there trying to just destroy us and everything we stand for. And it's not only an American thing. I mean, if you're just speaking just colored, non-colored, it's a global issue.
It's real bad.
So for me, it's very disheartening just to realize the fact that we can't really voice our opinions without being criticized, without being called lazy, without being called crybabies, forgetting about the past. And what people fail to realize is, everything that's happened in the past is more or less like of a lesson that we should take. We need to take heed to. So it's just like, because a lot of those things could easily happen again if we let it.
Yeah.
So the fact that you had like this, I don't know this clown's name, and I'm not gonna mention his name, but the fact that you had this guy, and I've seen a lot of things on my Facebook feed and Twitter. Man, like, some people, they just need to get slapped. I'm just gonna start walking around, whap, just slapping people.
It's crazy. And the good part, half of the reason why I did it, because I was got a moment, I was like, man, I need to figure out and see who's really, just gets it in regards to life. At the end of the day, right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yes.
And I put the status up just to kind of figure out who on my Facebook list. And obviously, I have a lot of Facebook friends over the years.
Humble brag.
Yeah, I know. I said like 3,000. Couple cats that came after me like humble brag. Hey, I know a lot of people. It's all good. But the most important part, I just wanted to kind of see, who was sitting on the right side of the fence here in terms of, what's right, what's wrong. And I just put that status up just to kind of figure out who I'm going to need to delete and block after this. And I had to block and delete about a good 4 or 5 people after that, just from all the comments going on. There was a lot of love on my side, just, people who knows the right things, and the fact that we are all equal, and we just need to live and love each other. And it doesn't matter, where someone came from and the history of the country and all that. Like, come on, man, it's 2017. The bigger problem is that a lot of people still think and feel that way, and a lot of people support Trump and what he's doing. So it was very eye-opening. It was an interesting day. I had a ton of comments. People messaged me on the side on Facebook, through Facebook Messenger. People hit me up on my text message, group chat and all that, you see what's going on. And I just let it ride for a good 24 to 48 hours, and it was absolutely crazy. And it just shows that where we are as a country, we are truly divided, and the problem is our supposed president isn't really making it much better.
He's not. He's being very divisive. He's playing to his core base.
Right.
And the cool thing is, some of the people that I know who actually did vote for him, they've backed off of him completely. I think for them, they were more voting or going the traditional route. Hey, my parents were Republicans, so I'm gonna vote for Republican. Just going with that whole title and not really, paying attention to who he was as a man. So
correct.
The fact that Trump has gone through, he's shown that he's an idiot. He's shown that he has lied more in his first couple of months than he has any other president in history. I mean, that's telling you something about who he is. So I don't know. I'm not going into impeachment or anything crazy like that. But however, I just know that in the times we're living in right now, people, kids, students, college, working professionals, please make sure that, your voices is heard. I know in the past it's been taboo to speak about politics, but honestly, I think right now in the times we're living in right now, we need to make sure, we are bringing up those topics. And I encourage those conversations in the workplace and all the places they said you could have them in, because in order for us to proceed and progress, it's, we got to have those combos.
Absolutely. I thought it was cool. And I mean, obviously, it helped me figure out who I needed to delete, block. That's fine. But I think just the social conversation that it had, all the comments, I think it's good for the soul. And I think, and I was telling you before, I think obviously back in the 60s and 70s, these things happened before. And I feel like it almost, all this needed to happen now just to kind of see where we're at and almost kind of figure out that there's still a lot of people who just aren't, like-minded or, still have racist beliefs and think that, this is America, this is their country.
Facts.
I had saw one video, I forgot, it was posted on like Vice or something like that. It was like, 3 white Americans out there, and they were trying to say how this is our country, and they were saying, black people stay together, so we need to stick together, and we need to take our country back, and it was totally weird, and I couldn't believe it. But the problem is, there's a lot of people who actually think that way. So the only way to go about getting resolution and all that is to kind of talk about it and have these conversations, and come to a medium on that. We're not going to always agree. We're not going to always be on the same page, but just to come to a medium is the biggest thing. So for those that haven't come around, I know there's a lot of Trump supporters who have been quiet. They will remain nameless, but they know. So hopefully they're coming around. But at the end of the day, from the past is the past, from what your parents believed in has nothing to do with 2017. And we just got to move forward. So I think this all just needed to happen.
Yeah, and then my final thoughts is, it goes back to saying that essentially what Trump, and I'm not going to just, bash and be like, Republicans are all racist. That's not the case.
Not at all.
So just specifically with him and his administration, and they're always going to, just for the record, you're always going to be tied to Trump, no matter where you go in the future, no matter how far, it goes. And Trump was the president 15, 20, 30 years ago. You're always going to be tied to him, just an FYI. But it goes to the fact that how, they're basically playing the poor and disenfranchised, farmer or person that's in rural Iowa, who's just as poor as, the African American living in the projects.
Right.
And they're just basically telling them that, oh yeah, you are essentially better than those particular people, as well as the well-off African Americans. That's kind of like that's kind of been their angle. Yeah. So because that's why these guys are coming out the woodworks and be like, I'm better than you, get out of my country and this, and you're like, wait, what? I make more than you. I live in this neighborhood. I pay this much in taxes, and I do this, and they're just using a lot of those resentments. They're using those and trying to pit that against us. So absolutely. I don't know, man. It's sad, and I don't know, bro. Like I come 2020. Man, we better have an alternative facts voting drive, like straight up, man. Right. We better set up shop somewhere.
I don't know, but it just makes it sad that it's almost like a big divide right now, and I feel like it hasn't even hit the peak of where it could be. Like I feel like one more big event, and this all could just really explode.
Bro, I'm going on the record. I miss George Bush.
What?
I miss George Bush.
I would say Obama, but you're going to go back to George Bush?
No, in terms of just Republican, I miss George Bush.
Yeah, why is that?
That's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah, Bush wasn't even that bad.
And he wasn't even that bad.
Nah, it's crazy.
So I 100% miss him, and it's unfortunate.
Can we get Obama back, man, or something like that?
We'll see.
Nah, that's not going to happen.
Never.
For all those that you asked for this. When we said last was October, November, you asked for this, and this is what you get. So hopefully we can get out of it. I always tell people, stick to your loved ones. Stay loyal, people. Just stay loyal. That's the biggest thing, as I can say. You always got to be loyal out here. Don't be wishy-washy. Stay loyal to your team, and just stay close to your loved ones. And that's all you can do right now.
That's all you can do, man.
Absolutely. So we'll move on from that. Let's talk about JayZ, that Rap Radar interview. That was a lot of jewels. And I'm actually sad we didn't get that interview with JayZ. Come on, man, we got to step our game up.
Hove, man, if we would have got that Hove interview, we would have been Rock Nation out, man.
Yeah, one
the hats, the shirts.
One day we'll get that interview.
Yeah, I know exactly. We have to start off by getting a Memphis Bleak interview first.
Memphis
and
Bleak,
just work. That's Hove's guy.
That is. Hey, Bleak was the band though.
Yeah, exactly. He be showing love on Twitter too.
For sure. But yeah, that was a good interview. You got to check it out, right?
Yeah, no, exactly, man. Like, it's so funny because like when I was like, like basically bringing that stuff up on like social media, all my friends who are just JayZ haters are like, look at you, man. You like a JayZ cult. Stop nut riding JayZ, all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, or he's saying stuff we should already know. I'm like, actually, people don't know that.
Right.
If you're not around the people with that information when it comes to, buying, investing, things of that nature, if you're not exposed to that, you're not going to know.
Right.
And I wasn't exposed to a lot of that stuff until, I started working and became a professional here in Chicago.
Right.
And that's when I started learning about a lot of stuff in depthly about stocks and housing and credit and all that. So just because I didn't grow up knowing that stuff and it didn't matter. It was just sports and trying to, get that bag. So it's funny how people were kind of downplaying it, but Hove was dropping jewels.
That was a dope interview.
It was just a dope interview, very introspective. Like the whole Kanye thing. Kanye is my guy, but Kanye was wilding out by bringing his kids. Beyonce talking about JayZ gonna have them killers coming after him. Yeah. Clearly, Kanye was going through an episode, and he's gonna have to definitely talk about this on an album and really address the issue.
Kanye?
Yes.
Yeah, but that could be a moment that Kanye needs, because obviously he's been low key. I don't know where he is right now, but he's ducked off somewhere.
Yeah. Which means he's in a good space, I assume.
Probably, but deep down, I think he's hurt the fact that he's not, boys with JayZ. And even JayZ mentioning that Kanye knows where he messed up. The only thing I'm going to say, playing devil's advocate in that interview with JayZ, is he was saying that, he went too far. Kanye mentioned, JayZ's family in regards to Future. Because he was trying to say, like, what was all the backlash with Future and why he was upset about the money bags. But I don't even think Future cared about that. He mentioned, Future's kid in one of his songs, I think on the JayZ 444 album, in regards, kind of like a joke in regards to like Russell Wilson and, playing with Future's kid. Like, he kind of went too far in that route too. So I kind of had to get, I wish they had mentioned that on that podcast, kind of like go back at him, like, well, you mentioned his kid, they kind of let it slide a little bit. That would be the only part of JayZ, like, well, you kind of did that, so you kind of deserve and understand why Future's a little upset.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying about that. However, man, it's just, it's rap. It's a play on words. So like, if you don't have the intellect to really kind of gather what's a diss and what's him just kind of using that as a, as more of like a, play on words, example, like it's not that, to me personally, it's not that big of a deal. So I disagree with you for saying that you think Future should have felt a certain way. Like I said, Future's, that's my guy right there. I love his music, but I mean, Hove is very intellectual. JayZ, he disses people in a lot of his past music. You never know if he's throwing out those jabs and bars. So like, that's Hove. That's him as an artist. So the fact that, Future is just taking it so literal, it goes to show you how, where Future's at when it comes to just like, just rapping and bars and really understanding when someone's throwing a shot at you and when someone's just more or less kind of using it within that type of, art.
Yeah, you can tell he feels a certain kind of way about it.
But I mean, definitely. Which to a normal mindset or a normal mind, that sounds like it's a diss. But I mean, like Jay said, he was on a song with him, one of the hottest songs of the summer.
Right, he was. But I mean, people like, do you really think deep down that him and Future are that good of friends? Probably not. The industry, they're not friends.
No,
like that.
They're not that good of friends. But I don't see why Hove would take his time to diss Future. Like, what does he get out of that? Like, it's on a, it's like the whole money money phone to the ear thing.
Right.
Like, it's just like, who cares? Like, y'all do that. He just basically telling people, don't do this. Like, it's like his lyric. Hove did this, so you won't have to go through that.
Yeah.
Essentially. So he's just trying to give you jewels like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. But if you do it, I get it. I understand. You came from nothing. You came from the mud. So, you're going to try to glow up, buy your cars, live your life, have all the chicks. But for those who want to take those jewels and apply it to their lives, and go ahead and do it as well, because you're going to be in a better place.
For sure. So I like the interview. Check it out if you haven't. It's on Rap Radar. I think it might still be exclusive on Tidal, but we found it as well.
Yeah,
and you can check it out. Yeah, part 1 was up. I'm assuming there's going to be a part 2 coming out soon.
Shout out to Spotify, man. We got to hop on there.
Yeah, one day we'll be on Spotify. I heard they got to come for you, but they'll be coming for us soon. But JayZ, it just made me realize he's just a general all around good dude. He's lived a lot. He's experienced a lot, but he's very successful. And and in regards to like the black culture, he's just at the top of it right now too. So he just sees things from a different perspective, and he's trying to give everyone jewels of what not to and how not to make the same mistakes that he did. So I appreciate it. Make sure you check that out, and we'll go from there. But what else we got? We got a lot more to talk about today.
No, we have a ton. But before we do that, we got to pay some bills.
Oh man, this one, these are good people as well. Seabreeze Building Services, and we need to make sure that they're compensated. So make sure you check him out. Chris, this is my guy. I've known him for many years. He's good people. This segment of the show is brought to you by Seabreeze Building Services, managing and maintaining over 15 homeowner associations across the Chicagoland area. If you live in an HOA and if you're looking for a new manager or a renovation company, go and check them out at seabreezebuildings.com. We always provide the link below in the description as well, but they're good people. Make sure you check them out as well too. Also, before we get going, shouts out to my boo Elise. Love you. She wanted me to give her shout out, so I did as well too.
Ain't no free promo.
Hey man, I got to do it from time to time. You got to let me live, B. But hey, it's time, and I'm going to get you, so you better make sure you're ready. We've been talking about this on our group chat for the last 24 hours. Kyrie Irving did get traded from Cleveland, which is a stupid move. He got traded to the Boston Celtics for Isaiah Thomas, Crowder, who was the one center, I forget his name. And then there was also, they get the Brooklyn Nets unprotected pick in 2018. Before I give my thoughts on that, who do you think got the better of the trade, and what do you think about it?
All right, so just looking at the roster initially, I like the Celtics just because Irving is an offensive juggernaut. Defensively, he's but however, he's still an upgrade over Isaiah Thomas. But, just looking on paper, the Celtics look a lot better. However, you can't discredit LeBron James. He's been to 8 straight finals, probably going on his 9th. And Isaiah Thomas, still a great scorer. He's still going to get his buckets. And I think LeBron James is that good enough to where, when it defensive help and then, probably bringing in a couple more pieces, hopefully Dwayne Wade, if that works out for them, if the Bulls buy him out.
A lot of ifs.
It's a lot of ifs, but we've seen a lot of those ifs become reality over the offseason. Or maybe they might be able to get Melo with the hoodie. Like literally with the hoodie on, he's a 99 overall rated.
Yeah, he's like 100, man. That guy, he done missed. I haven't seen him miss with the hoodie on in any clip that they shot.
Facts, yeah.
He be shooting shots from half court, drilling.
Exactly. So I think that the Cavs, the Celtics look better on paper. However, the Cavs, they have LeBron James, and you can't count them out. And on top of that, D Rose. So for me,
I forgot about that.
I still think the Cavs are the better team overall because LeBron James is LeBron James. However, the Celtics will give him a run for their money because I like their roster with Kyrie if he stays healthy.
All right, so overall, I think obviously Cleveland, they probably had to get something out of the deal in regards to, you knew Kyrie wanted to be gone, needed to be traded. He blatantly said he didn't want to play with LeBron anymore. Was that probably the best deal that they could get? Probably. My biggest red flag is the fact that Boston is the second closest team to Cleveland in the Eastern Conference, and they traded their second best player, who could even be considered a top 10 player in the NBA, to your second team that's closest to you. Like, why wouldn't you send him out west? Maybe send him to a terrible team, send him to someone like Brooklyn. You actually sent him to the second best team close to you. And there's a reason that Boston gave up 4 players for 1. And people are trying to say that Cleveland got the best out of the deal and this and that, blah, blah. And because they got the 2018 Brooklyn Nets like pick or whatnot. We don't know, who that pick is. What if some random reason that Brooklyn's actually decent next year and that pick turns out to not even be in the lottery, or toward the end of the lottery, is that pick even worth it? They're kind of assuming, it'll be a top 2 pick. We just don't know that as of yet.
Yeah, and LeBron, we all know he hates Dan Gilbert's
he's out of there.
Guts. Shout out to Dave Smith. I saw him on
that's our guy.
About that.
Yeah.
But he does hate Dan Gilbert's guts. So the fact, I feel like his pride will not allow him to stay, even though he loves Cleveland. And no matter where he goes, a guy like that, we have that much money, you can go anywhere.
Right.
So and he can always come back home. He can still help out the Akron area. So that's not going anywhere. But I just think that his pride will not allow him to stay in Cleveland.
You think he's gonna leave again?
Yes, because Dan Gilbert is an asshole, 100%.
I mean, he's just not really, an NBA mind. He's just he's a business mind. It actually worked out for him. But
business-wise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's why LeBron, and I don't know, it's just a rumor, but they're trying to say that Gilbert's a Trump supporter, so that could be another reason. That's neither here or there. I can't prove that as well,
but
too.
Someone actually said that?
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons that LeBron's looking to leave. Like I said, I'm not fact-checking right now, but they're trying to say that Gilbert's a Trump supporter, so that could be a reason why he's looking. I can't see it, but, I mean, you never know the people. I've seen it, heard it all nowadays, so I wouldn't be surprised. But just back to the trade talk, Kyrie, I think Kyrie's the man. People are trying to say, he's not that good without LeBron. You got to remember, people, that when LeBron wasn't there, Kyrie was 21 years old. He was just a kid playing in the NBA. And, of course, they weren't good. Now he's got years of playoff experience, 3 NBA finals, I think it is. He's got a ring. He's just a different type of dude. And he's been training with Kobe Bryant in the offseason just to get that killer instinct. I think him going to Boston is going to be great for them. I say, and I'll put this on record, that Boston definitely got the better out of the deal. He's better than Isaiah Thomas. He's bigger, stronger, faster, plays better defense, better scorer. He'll get more assists. And I think overall, they're not better than Cleveland, but they got the better out of the deal than Cleveland. Thomas will be good there. Obviously they got Derrick Rose in Cleveland, so that'll help out as well too. They need Wade, I think, but overall, I don't think Cleveland's still going to get over Golden State with the roster as is. But Boston's definitely better.
Yeah, I mean, I get you. Like the more I look into it, because yesterday I was more like, Celtics, like 100% they're going to the finals. But, LeBron James' track record, even though I don't like LeBron James as much as I like LeBron James when he was with the Heat, LeBron is still LeBron. So as long as they have him, they're still going back. And the East is so, they're the only competition there.
Right.
So, they'll probably meet at some point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whether it be part of the
best
Eastern Conference Finals or something like that. And I think, depending on what pieces Cleveland gets, over the regular season or prior to that, that's going to determine what the matchup is. But as long as you got LeBron, you got a chance.
Definitely. And I'm just surprised over the fact that Boston is the second best team and you traded your second best player, who is a all NBA caliber player, to that second best team.
That goes to show you how good Kyrie is.
Yeah, he's awesome. And I mean, obviously he won out there. I'm surprised that they made that deal. And I think Cleveland's going to feel a little bit of the heat because of it. And Isaiah Thomas, he's a great player. Do not get me wrong. But come playoff time, it's just a totally different beast.
Yeah. And he's 30 and Kyrie's only 25.
He's 28, buddy. Get it right. He's actually not 30. Yeah.
He's 30, bro. 28, 30 is
close. No, yeah, Thomas is good. He's still a young player. Don't get me wrong. He's not old by any means. I still just think Kyrie's a better player. People are trying to say they got deeper and this and that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got deeper. Yeah, they got a better a defender who can come off the bench. He can score a little bit too. And then that 2018 pick. But overall, I'm saying, and I've gotten a lot of comments on my Facebook today, but sorry, Boston did get the better out of the deal. Cleveland will feel it that Kyrie isn't there. And real Cleveland fans, they're a little butthurt right now that Kyrie's gone. Because they know, man, Kyrie, he carried a lot of that team. LeBron is the man, but Kyrie did carry that franchise for the last couple of years. So they will feel it, but they'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love it. Is when I wake up in the morning, the air just feels a little bit different, and it's not like so hot and humid outside. And that always makes me think that football is back. College football, I'm a huge college football fan. We got to preview the season coming up. Who's your team? Actually, I kind of know who your team, but I don't know if our fans know who your team is, and who you're rooting for this year. But I got my picks. Let's go over them right now.
All right, man. Seminoles.
Florida State?
Yeah, they're winning a national championship, coming into, this season. They're going to win every game.
Every game?
Yeah, they're beating Alabama. Alabama, they're done. The SEC's done.
Yeah, they're kind of falling off.
Yeah, they're falling off. So I think Alabama's done. They had a great run, but they can't be good for that many years.
They are number one in the current AP poll, though, for the preseason. Do you think that's just because of who they are?
Well, yeah, that's just because of who they are and how they did last year. But I think Florida State, they got it.
Good. So that's your pick this year, Florida State number one?
That's my pick.
Calling it Ohio State's number 2 right now. USC's number 4.
Yep.
Who else? Oklahoma's 7. Penn State's number 6. They're going to have a squad at Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State.
But, of course, my team go blue. Michigan, the number 11.
Just to let you know, and they have, 3 Big Ten teams ahead of Michigan at number 11. The Big Ten, they might make a run.
Wisconsin's there, but I heard I don't know who, I forgot, I can't think right now, but Wisconsin lost a great player. One of their best players got hurt. He's out for the season. I can't think of it, but one of my coworkers told me that just yesterday that he got hurt, so it's kind of a dagger for them. I think like one of their team captains is out.
Oh, wow.
I think somebody on defense. I can't remember who right now. So
if it's
tweet
on
us,
defense,
Instagram, let's let us know who
work.
it is. Yeah, I'm sure though they got people back up, but that just goes to show that Big Ten, the Big Ten's come back up, right? And you used to hate on the Big Ten heavy being a Florida guy.
Yeah.
But can you now admit that the Big Ten is where it's at?
I mean, like for this season, they got strong teams, but I won't say it's where it's at permanently. Like they gotta go on a run. So until I see them go on a championship run or win something, then I'm not going. I'm just going to digress and fall back.
Okay, I'm going to go with Michigan because I got to talk about them. That's my squad. I'm predicting a 10-2 season. They will lose to. They're going to beat Michigan State. They're going to trash Michigan State because they're falling off.
Michigan State is trash.
Sorry, Michigan State fans. If you listen to this, they're done.
Hey, Ron, they're trash.
Yeah, they're done. Sorry, boo. They're finished. And then 2. So they'll probably lose to either. I'm predicting either. Was Penn State loss or Wisconsin or Ohio State loss. They're going to beat Wisconsin. They may have a fluke loss to someone else in the middle. Michigan have a great season. I saw a thing they were saying like college football coaches predict or are saying that Jim Harbaugh and Nick Saban are the 2 most overrated coaches in college football. They're just hating right there. What's up with that?
Nah, man, Jim, he's
a man.
He's solid, man. He's decent. Like, I mean, think about it. Where Michigan was at the past couple years before he came up until now, like, no, he's a phenomenal coach.
And he does that everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Like, even in the NFL when he was with the 49ers, turned them around.
They went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, with the terrible 49ers, they went to the Super Bowl.
Granted, he lost to his brother and he lost to Flacco on the Ravens, but however, he took Cap to the took him to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
So, like, say what you want, Harbaugh, he's dope.
He even took Stanford, which isn't a perennial football team. They took him to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Michigan instantly got better. Won 10 games last year. They got a great recruiting class.
He's a great coach, man.
Yeah,
like, people are just hating.
Yeah, of course. So I can't predict who's going to win a national championship. There's going to be a lot of good teams this year, but I think this is going to be a really good college football team. But I'm hoping my Wolverines do it. I think they're going to have a good
my
season.
sleeper pick is I'm kind of interested in seeing how Wisconsin. I don't know, man. Wisconsin. I know you said Wisconsin. Some of their major players got hurt, but I'm kind of interested in seeing if they can make some noise.
Why?
Honestly,
they're boring, man.
Yeah, I get it, but sometimes boring wins. They
always win. They always win. Every year they're good for a good solid 8 to 10 to 11 wins. But I feel like each and every year they let you down when it matters, and that's even in basketball too. They do the same thing.
They're one. I mean, they're just like one of those teams that they're always kind of in the mix some way somehow. So if they just kind of play it smart, they might be able to go far. They don't ever have a superstar that's too flashy. I mean, last person was Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, something like that.
But, for the most part, they're just a solid squad. So, as far as Big Ten wise, I really like them, and I don't know why. But then also, with the Pac-12, USC.
I like that.
They rebounded pretty quickly because I thought they were going to be trash for a couple years, and then all of a sudden they just glowed up out of nowhere.
They got too much talent out there. When you see USC, everyone wants to play for USC. When I was a kid, I wanted to go to USC just because it's USC, so they'll be okay. In regards to being in Chicago, Illinois, Northwestern, I'm assuming they've been decent the past few years. I'm not rooting for them at all. I'm not a Northwestern fan. But what's up with Illinois? Don't they got Lovie Smith? Your boy Lovie Smith. And one of my coworkers is a huge Illini fan, and I saw they had some rating about the top, obviously 128 some Division I schools. Illinois was number 114 or something like that.
Trash.
Come on, man, they're a big school to be that bad.
They haven't been that good since. And they weren't even that
football?
good when they had Ron Zook. And Ron Zook was a phenomenal recruiter. I don't know where Ron Zook is at right now, but I remember he was recruiting a hell lot of people to come to Illinois. And ever since then, I don't know who they have in their squad. So they're not doing anything. But honestly, I think, Florida State's going to be number 1 at the end of the season. Ohio State's going to make noise because Ohio State is Ohio State.
Right.
Michigan, I think Michigan will make noise.
They'd be good for sure.
I mean, they're Jordan brand. You can't go wrong with that.
That's dope. Is there any other college football team or college team in general that's Jordan brand? Or is Michigan the only one?
Man, that's a great question.
I don't know.
Don't fact check me, but I think they might be the only one.
That's because, man, Michigan's that deal.
And then on top of that, I'm from Tampa, so you already know South Florida, they're number 19. They might make some noise. Yeah.
Actually, University of South Florida.
Yes, they're number 19.
That's good for them.
That's huge for them. Like I've never seen them on a preseason pre-ranking, so that's kind of crazy.
How's UCF Central Florida going to be? That's your squad, right?
Scott Frost is actually he's going to be a coach. He won't stay there. I think once I think UCF they improved 6 wins.
Okay.
In the year before they only won one game. So I think that they're definitely going to go to a bowl game.
Okay.
But I think he's one of those coaches where he's up out of there.
Soon?
He's going to be a head coach for a major college football program.
So it's just a stepping stone.
Yeah, so it's a stepping stone. So I figure they'll make a bowl game. After that, he's going to bounce and stuff, and he'll become head coach somewhere throw out a random school that's trying to come back to prominence.
Who knows?
Arkansas or something like that. Who knows?
Something like that.
Yeah,
cool, man.
He's a good coach there.
It's a good time of year. Like I said, I love the fall football season. Waking up on Saturday morning.
I love repping the gear.
Yeah, it definitely, especially in Chicago, because they're all
people go hard at the bars.
Yeah, a lot of the bars, they're school specific, so it's just a great time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in Chicago, get out, make sure you support your team this year. And we'll have an NFL preview coming up on the next episode. I know we got a few more weeks
Go
there,
Bucks.
so we will be talking about that. Hey, but the bad thing about the Bucks, if we get off of that, they're on the Hard Knocks show, which actually I've been watching. They got a funny team. I actually like their team, but it's usually bad karma to be on Hard Knocks. They shouldn't have agreed to that. I don't know. They might have they have a good team, but they might backfire on this season. What do you think? That's your squad.
Hard Knocks is I'm super.
That's a good show, though.
It was a great show, but as soon as they said they're gonna get on Hard Knocks, I'm like, all right, they're not gonna win the Super Bowl, but they're gonna make it to the playoffs.
Okay, they actually might. I've been watching. They seem like they have good chemistry. They got good camaraderie. Jameis Winston seems to be a good leader, so we'll see what happens. I'm still going with my Lions though in Detroit.
Who's gonna stop them?
Detroit.
Crickets.
We're gonna move on from that, but our favorite show. We need to move on, but we got to talk about Big Brother. It's funny. People always come at us like, man, why do you watch Big Brother? Big Brother's that
people
deal.
Are losers.
Big
Brother's
all of
them
deal.
are.
Big Brother's that deal, man.
Yeah. So
I love that show. Who do you got?
Man, all right. You already know that's all. Man, that's all. Me, you, and Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
We be texting out Haley and I. Man, we watch that show religiously, dog. Shout out to the wifey. But honestly, right now, Paul is running the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has his little alliance with the paired off couples. So no matter what, he's good. I think he's going to be top 3.
You think so?
Yes, 100%. If he can make it through, I think these next 2 weeks, I think he's good. My biggest thing is, my biggest thing is Alex just can't think for herself. You know what I mean? It's like with her, she's playing Paul's game. So
right.
She could win it, but the fact that she's 100% relying on Paul, and if Jason were to leave, I think she'll still be okay. That's alarming. So I don't think she's going to make any big moves. Matt Raven, trash.
Matt's terrible.
Matt's always going up on the block as a pawn, and he act like he talks as if he's never been on the pond. I mean, as if he's never been on the block as a pawn, right?
Yeah, that's his biggest side. And he said last episode that his girl Raven can't ever go on the block. Man, screw that. It's $500,000, bro. Put your girl on the block. It's not even your girl, man. You just met her a few weeks ago.
And then Kevin, I love Kevin. Kevin's he's my favorite player there, and Mark. But Mark's already kind of burnt bridges.
Mark's out of there.
And then Kevin, he was trying to kind of bring in Jason in, kind of letting him know that they're trying to bring Cody in. But then Jason has he's a weasel. He can't hold water. You told Jason anything, he's going right back. And he exposed himself in that speech because you didn't tell them that you had a conversation with Mark about taking Paul out until that whole veto ceremony or whatever. You're like, come on. So I honestly, Paul, I think he's the favorite. And if Alex somehow decides that she wants to play, I think she could get Paul out, but I don't think she will.
For sure. Remember I said this, episode 13, Christmas is going to win the season. I see it coming a mile away. And we wonder why. She's very smart. She's not a threat. She's never been a threat. No one ever once targets her. The fact that she got that injury where she's on those crutches, I think that kind of helped her out. And the fact that she's just hasn't been a threat. No one is targeting her. I used to actually really couldn't stand Josh, and he actually seems like a smart dude when he's not wilding out. So a lot of you don't watch Big Brother. We'll be off this soon. But
and Raven lied about her about her disease. She doesn't have no osteoporosis, whatever it's called.
Of course not. But I do think Paul, if he makes it the next 3 weeks, he'll be okay. but I think Josh or Christmas is going to start to realize that he's playing 3 different teams being the third wheel, and that's going to come to bite him. Yeah. I don't like what's the Asian girl's name? I'm not a really big fan. Yeah, I don't like Alex. I think she's stupid. She needs to leave Kevin alone.
She's smart if she plays correctly, but she doesn't.
No, she's going to get up out of there. Jason's a weasel. I don't like him anymore. He's going to get up out of there. I think the final 3 will either be Christmas, Josh, and Paul, or Christmas, Josh, and Kevin, and I think Christmas is going to win.
I think it'll be Christmas, Josh, and Paul.
Yeah, those are the 3 best. Like, they're just like the smartest minds there. Kevin might sneak in, but I'm going with Christmas to win it.
The only reason why I agree with you on that is because they're on to Paul.
Yeah,
so I think that they might just kind of keep him on just to be able to get other people out.
Right.
But then they're going to end up but they're going to have to hurry up and get them out once it's them 3. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Before we get to our Everything Chicago segment, make sure I can say, by the way, keep up with Big Brother if you have it. Before we get to our Everything Chicago, what's up with it Jon Bones Jones? Man, that guy can't stay out of his own way.
Yeah, well, what happened?
If you haven't heard, they said he, failed another drug test. He's had a lot of issues the past few years before and after every fight. And they claim that he got, popped for like an oral steroid or something like that the day before, like the day of the fight, which just seems like a little bit odd. I guess it just seems like it's impossible, especially when you get caught with a steroid or whatnot, that it takes like quite a while for it to like show up in your system. So the crazy part, which I even saw today, was that his teammate even said that he's being set up. There's no way that you can pop an oral steroid and it show up on a drug test, that fast. So they're saying a conspiracy is going on. The bigger issue is that, he's been stripped of his title. He'll probably get suspended again. And the fight that they had a few weeks ago just, seems to be off or not. So what's the bigger, at first I was like, man, this guy just seems to be an idiot. But if it comes out to be true, which I don't know, that he's being set up, we need to figure out there's a bigger thing going on with the UFC. My guts is telling me I think the UFC is kind of trash. I think it's run its course. It's always these like issues with people failing drug tests. Conor McGregor's boxing now. Brock Lesnar is back in WWE. Like, what's going on with the UFC? I think it's hot trash. I don't think it's going to make it too much longer.
No,
and WWE's here to stay. I mean, they've always lived through all these, one thing comes, one thing goes, but at the end of the day, WWE's always there.
Man, Dana White smart by selling and becoming a billionaire or whatever.
Yeah.
Before people started catching on. They're done.
Yeah, honestly, I think they're done with it. And we don't need to talk about it too much longer, but I hope it works out for Jon Jones. It's kind of unfortunate. He had a great fight. He won. It seemed to be like a good moment for him for all he's been through, and now to see it tarnished and taken back down, I'm sure he's devastated. I'm not going to, say anything bad about him until I know the facts, especially when his teammate says that he seems to be set up, but hope it all works out. But bottom line, I think the UFC's done. It's just too much. It's just too many stories around it, so I think that they're finished, man. Don't you think so?
Yeah, man, I think they are too. And also, one thing is with Jon Jones, fun fact, has nothing to do with him in his whole alleged case. Both his brothers played in the NFL at one point.
Yeah, they did.
So, just fun fact.
Cool. Let's run through. Yeah,
not relevant.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get to our favorite segment, we actually got some good clown of the week. Some people that really need to get it today.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
But before we do that, we need to get to our Everything Chicago segment. And first, in regards to that, the Aaron Waters show this past weekend, did you make it to it at all? Because I know I did.
Yeah, I had a chance to kind of check it out. It was dope. A bunch of planes, people getting drunk. Great weather, summertime shy. You can't go wrong with it. If you're ever in Chicago, come to the Aaron Waters show. Come any weekend in the summer, but come to the Aaron Waters show. It was just a fun time, just seeing your people out, their families, kids running around.
It was cool.
Grilling. It was dope time.
Yeah, for sure. And I've lived in Chicago almost 8 years now, and you always see the Aaron Waters show each and every year. You see the planes flying above, and this is actually the first year that I actually got to go to the Aaron Waters show. I took my daughter and my girlfriend's daughter out there, actually a couple times for the practice run Friday afternoon, and we went out there for a couple hours Saturday, and it was cool. It was just the fact that it was so many people. He had tents set up, barbecuing. They had their families out there.
It felt like the 4th.
Yeah, it actually did. And to actually see the planes flying, there was a lot of boats out in the water on Lake Michigan, and they were doing some cool things. It was loud. Like, those planes are just like super loud, but it was just like a cool environment, cool time. The weather was good too, so that was cool thing to experience and to actually see. And I'm actually glad that I got to do it. So if you haven't gone to the Aaron Waters show, obviously it's each and every year, but it's actually just a cool experience. And if you live in Chicago, just to say that you did before. But But then, and I was cracking him too about the solar eclipse in Chicago the other day. Did you get to see that? You had them glasses, B? I know you probably did.
I weren't checking for that at all. No, I just saw a bunch of people, thousands of people out there on Michigan Ave, near where I work at, and people crying.
Crying?
Seeing it for the first time since 1950s.
Don't just skip over that. Who was crying? I hope you Snapchatted them.
No, I mean not regular people that I saw, but just like anchors on the news and stuff.
About what?
Because that was the first time they've seen it in a long time, like forever or a long time.
Okay. Why were they crying, man?
I don't know. People who are just really kind of into just nature. They're so like this one guy for DNA Chicago. It was kind of nice because, you could tell that's his life's passion. But he was just like, I've seen tornadoes, I've seen this, I've seen that, but I've never seen a solar eclipse in my 50-odd years. And I'm like, man, all right, okay.
I guess. I was making fun of people. I have Snapchat, like, man, because it was funny. Between like 1 and 1:30, nobody was doing work. If you had to like make a deal or just something was going on, it wasn't happening. Like I remember I was walking out to get some lunch and everybody was outside. The funny part, it wasn't even sunny out. It was cloudy as crap in Chicago around like 1:15 on that was whatever day it was this weekend.
It was cloudy.
Yeah,
man.
super cloudy, and like everyone's outside had the glasses like staring up at the sky. Man, I was cracking.
You could only saw it if you were in Carbondale, Illinois, like Southern Illinois area. For our people who don't know where Carbondale is at, like that's the only time where it was like a legit full eclipse where it got dark. But in Chicago, bro, it was like it was nothing. It was just like
maybe I'm just being naive. Maybe I just didn't think it was that big a deal. But a lot of people were really into it.
Nah, pass. I'll wait 2045.
When's the next time? Yeah, when's the next time they're gonna have?
I mean, I saw 2045. I saw one that says 2024. It might be like partial or full visibility. I'm not sure how that works, but no matter what, I'm gonna be around anyway. So
you gonna live forever?
Yeah, whenever it pops up, I'll be there.
Absolutely. And what's up with this protest that I saw? I'm not too up on this story, but I think it's big news for Chicago.
Yeah, so essentially, Balboa. Balboa is actually like a Balboa Drive is a street in Chicago, and they're trying to rename it just because Benito Mussolini, he was one of the dictators of Italy. Obviously, he was an ally to Hitler. Pro-Hitler, and I think he was on the Axis powers. You had the Allied powers, the Axis powers, and they're on the Axis side. If I'm wrong, please let me know, but I doubt I am. But, essentially, Mussolini gave this in honor of Babbo, who was one of his commanders back in 1933. And he gave it to a gift to Chicago. Okay. Which is kind of dope that Chicago's getting gifts from like dictators from like globally.
Absolutely.
But, yeah. So then, obviously with everything that's been going on now with like the Confederacy and like, people trying to take down monuments and all that stuff, Chicago's just really trying to, get everything the hell up out of there. So essentially, that's what it's about. It's just like, a dictator that was pro-Hitler, like get that stuff out of there.
For sure. And I haven't liked a lot of the moves that Rahm Emanuel's made, but this is actually a good thing. And hopefully it actually works out and actually goes through. So a good deal in that. And that's a good story, for Chicago. Summer's winding up. It's actually been an amazing summer. A couple more festivals left. I know Riot Fest is coming up. I think the weekend is September 15th through the 17th. I've never been before, but I mean, a lot of people, it seem like they got some pretty good acts coming out there. North Coast Music Festival is always over Labor Day weekend. That's coming up not this weekend, but next weekend. They got some decent acts there as well, too. Are there any other big festivals coming up?
Yeah. This weekend, there's I believe it's the Greek Fest.
Okay.
So I think that's typically, I feel like there's like 1,000. Yeah, Taste of Greek Town. So it's a Taste of Greek Town. So I don't know if that's different from the Greek Fest, but Taste of, so that I think that's typically somewhere in the West Loop.
Okay.
Area, and then after that, they're going to have like the Logan Square Food Truck Social, and the Randolph Street Market Festival this weekend. So that's the August 25th through the 27th for our listeners.
Okay,
and then after that, the next weekend, starting from August 31st to September 3rd, is the Chicago Jazz Festival, and that'll be at Millennium Park. That's typically popping if you're into jazz and all that. It's a good time, and then you name all the other big ones, and there's like a ton more that are kind of like mini festivals that's happening. Right. Festivals happen like all the fall. It's something.
It's so much.
It's so much.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, it's like every single month. So it's going to be popping.
I will say that it has been a great summer of 2017. I've actually took the entire summer to actually enjoy Chicago and actually be here. So it's actually been an awesome summer. And the crazy part is it's just not over yet. We got a couple more weeks to go. So that's dope. And before we get to clowning, we forgot, man. And this is always your favorite segment. You got to talk about a little bit of politics. But I actually did listen to some of our supposed president, Donald Trump, his speech that he had the other day. Was, I think, Tuesday or Monday or something like that. It was a little crazy. And the most alarming part that I saw was it pretty much hinted at or said that 100% we're going to be attacking and we're going to be going back to war soon. Did you get that vibe from his speech there?
Yeah, so... yeah, man.
It was crazy.
Yeah, who knows with him? He's such a liar, honestly, and I don't know what's real, what's fake. Like, honestly, we got to get ourselves out of Afghanistan. It's been, 17 years since we've been at war.
Like, why are we still there?
It's the longest war of all time. We spent almost close to $1 trillion. I think we're at like 710 billion. Please fact check me for our people out there, but close to like 710 billion. I think over 2,500 soldiers have died over there, and over countless wounded. And we just need to get out. And for him, he's just like, we shouldn't. I don't want to pull out because and that a part of his whole campaigning. He said that he wanted to pull people out of there and get them out of there. And obviously now he was like, as a president, it isn't as easy. So essentially he doesn't want what happened in Iraq to happen where, you pull out and then there's other rebels and functions that pop up. But it's been 17 years. Like, you pull out now, you don't pull out in 20 years, no matter what. Something's going to come out of it because we're killing their people.
Yeah, still.
And those people are dying, and you're going to piss off some kid. Yeah. Someone who's going to grow up, and they're going to be like, I hate Americans. I hate the Western civilization. I'm going to start up my own terrorist function. It's just the way it happens, period.
For sure.
Because imagine you being over there, someone kills your family. What are you going to do?
You don't want to get payback.
Just sit down and take it? No.
Nah, you didn't get payback.
Yeah, you want payback. So it's like, no matter what, just pull out, man, and just save us a ton of money instead of trying to build a wall. In which he also said in that speech, he would build out, he'll shut down government or shut down spending in order to build that wall. Because right now, that's all he has. Definitely. If he doesn't get that wall built, his campaign is just all a facade, and
it's all a facade anyway. But he's trying to have some saving grace.
But if he doesn't build that, then that's 100% like, dude, you failed.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's weird. I feel like anytime a Republican president gets in the presidency, it's weird. Like, I feel like they always feel a need that we got to be at war with someone or go attack somebody, and I feel like we're just keep repeat like rinse and repeat, every 8 years. So, and I don't know why we're about to attack them, but he hinted at it quite a few times, and I can't say when, and he probably doesn't know when. They probably don't even have a set plan for him to hint at it. It sounds like there's something bigger coming, and like I said, just stay close to your loved ones. I feel like, and the fact that all this has been happening, and he's only 5-6 months in the presidency. Yeah. I mean, probably less than that.
It feels like 2 years.
Yeah, this has not even been a year yet. Like, we got 3.5 more years of this mess.
And he's already he's campaigning right now. He's trying to set up his 2020 nicely. So, I mean, no matter what, I just feel sorry for anyone who's a minority right now. And granted, and just to be real with you, I don't even think Trump is that really racist as people make him out to be. I think he's just right now, it's kind of like he's winning, and he won off of that platform he was kind of running on, so he's just running with it.
Yeah, he's playing
but he's kind of like the whole Tommy Lorraine thing. I don't think he's really truly like, oh my gosh, like, I am a racist. He's just, it's like once you taste that win, you're just gonna run with it.
He's playing. He's almost like a character of himself now.
Oh, dude, he's an actor.
He's like a WWE character. Yeah. Just playing up in that. Yeah, you know what I mean?
100%. He doesn't believe any of that stuff he's saying, which is kind of like the effed up part about it. So, right?
Because he wasn't that. He would have always been that way. But for him to be acting like this now, he's just playing though. So real people know. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, stick to your loved ones. That's all we can do.
Yep.
And keep praying. But man, it is time for Clown of the Week, our favorite segment. And since we've kind of been talking about Trump, and we talked earlier about the white supremacy thing, I think I need to go first today.
All right, go ahead.
Cool with that? Christopher Cantwell. For all of you who don't know who he is, you got to look him up. He's the leader of the whole white supremacy thing in Charlottesville from a couple weeks ago. Man, that guy is a straight up coon. He's a clown. And at first, if you ever saw his videos, it was that one thing they released on Vice saying, everything they did was for a cause. He didn't feel bad about it. And when a lot of the bad things happened that weekend in Charlottesville, that, those on the other side trying to defend it were the perpetrators, and that girl wouldn't have gotten killed if, she didn't get violent and this and that and the other, just basically making it seem like, everything that they did was right. Then a few days later, he got wind that, he could get arrested or he could get in trouble or he could have charges brought up against him before being the ringleader of this. And he was on video crying and, saying, he's sorry and he didn't know what he was doing and he didn't do anything wrong. The great thing would seem like today is, he's wanted and he's actually going to turn himself in. And he has 3 felony charges pending against him for crimes as well. So good for you, buddy. You thought you were going to do this off, without a hitch and everything was going to be okay. Well, guess what, buddy? You're going to jail. And that's what you got to remember, people. Anything you do, especially on camera, you're going to get in trouble. It's always going to come to light. I guess he has 2 counts of illegal use of tear gas and 1 count of malicious bodily injury with a caustic substance, explosive, or fire, basically being the ringleader of it. So he's going to turn himself in, and good. I'm glad for him, and I think he deserves it. And I think he just needs to remember that right is right, wrong is wrong. We are all people. There's no color thing. And the fact that he thought he could be the ringleader of all this and nothing was going to happen to him. Bro, what were you thinking? It's 2017. There's a lot of cameras out. And the fact that he didn't have remorse for it at first, I think is why he's really in trouble. He's trying to, backtrack right now. And it's absolutely not working. Let this be a lesson, you people. It's not going to work. A lot of people that were at that, in Charlottesville, some have gotten fired from their jobs. Just got to be careful about that. And I mean, you just got to remember there are people on the other side that don't agree with you, and it's going to come to backfire. So sorry, Chris, for this. You're getting the clown of the week. You're the clown of the year. You're almost the clown of the century for that. And I hope you never get any shine after this. But for right now, you got to get the clown of the week, buddy.
Yeah, man, he's a sucker, man.
He is a sucker.
I want to see him start that up in Chicago.
Anywhere, any inner city, he wouldn't make it. He would never actually go.
He'll be wearing his tongue as a bow tie.
Absolutely. Who you got, man? I know you've been hyped up to do this one.
Yeah, man. So, hey, my clown of the week, man, goes to Kid Rock. So Kid Rock apparently has something to say about my guy, Colin Kaepernick. Sunday, he had a show, and mid-show, he said he's going to keep the show very politic-free, do his little whack songs or whatever. So he went ahead, the conservative rocker, who's a huge Trump supporter, he stopped mid-song at a state fair in Iowa, to no surprise, is Iowa.
Right.
And he stopped mid-song, and he started unleashing a bunch of profane references to Colin Kaepernick, the former 49ers quarterback. Obviously Cap, he's had a lot of controversy around kneeling during the national anthem last season. So, after, initially promising to keep the show, politics free, he stopped partway through Born Free to say football is ready to start. You know what? Fuck Colin Kaepernick. So essentially, he was just going off on my guy. And he also went off on Colin Kaepernick back in 2016. So right. Cap right now, he's in a unique situation where, no team is signing him because obviously all those owners are 99.9% white, and they're not going to, try to really step away from their whole core fan base. And Kid Rock, with Kid Rock, he started his career out as a rapper. So, he spent with him, he spent a whole lot of time pandering to remain popular, whether it be to African Americans and whether it be to Caucasian people. So, when he was attempting to make it as a rapper, he was only dating black women. I think he has a son that's half black, and now he's on his white pride kick.
Yeah, man, out of nowhere, right?
So actually, it's very laughable.
After all
for me,
years.
with Kid Rock, if there's a snowball chance in hell that he could have made it as a rapper, he'd probably be in the booth, spitting bars and doing what he used to do. But right now, he's washed up. So obviously, he's trying to leash on to those country folk crooning. And I think for him, it's like a sad, pathetic attempt. And the fact that he's repping Detroit, and I know Detroit don't rock with him.
Not at all.
So the fact that you're trying to break down a black man in America mixed, whatever you want black mix, who's trying to stand up for injustices happening in our country right now, that's whack and that's lame. And the fact that you can't see that and you're an entertainer and you done been to so many places, probably so many countries, you've seen the poor, you've seen the rich, and you can't distinguish what's what. Kid Rock, you're getting the clown of the week. And you might get the clown of 2017 once we kind of kick off our show at the end of the year.
Absolutely, man. And I feel not terrible, man. Like the fact that he tries to rep Detroit, man, he's out of there. And I know for sure no one in Detroit,
Yeah.
reps Kid
Man,
Rock.
you sure don't rock with him?
Nah, man. And I honestly, I never was really a huge Kid Rock fan.
Yeah, he's corny to me.
Yeah, for sure. Now he's just going way far right with it. So you got to get up out of here, man. I'm not a big Kid Rock fan. But that's been episode 13. That was a great show. We talked about a lot, man. It was a deep show. I think it was just a lot of things that we actually needed to talk about. A lot of crazy things in social media.
I mean, we could have went in 2-3 hours. That's how long the show could have been. But we kind of had to give our whole our take on it from a macro standpoint. But it was a great show. So for all our fans, we appreciate you. Please subscribe to our iTunes page. Please leave a review, and just let you know, I think we're at 182 reviews right now. So the first person to give us our 200th review, we're giving you a $100 gift card via iTunes.
Absolutely.
So please, review us where you can find us on the iTunes page, Alternative Facts Chicago.
Absolutely.
And, plug our other social media, bro.
Our SoundCloud is where our podcast is hosted, is Alternative Facts Chicago. We're doing well on there. The spins are looking good. Twitter, AFAC Chicago. We got a lot of fans on there. We are always engaging, so make sure you hit us up. Leave a question, comment. We will get back to you. Our Instagram is popping as well. That's Alternative Facts Chicago. Our Facebook page, Alternative Facts Chicago. We are all over the place. We're always engaging. We're just growing, and we're doing this for the city. Keep in mind, for all our sponsors, 50% always goes to the Chicago Public Schools. Do not forget that. The school year will be starting soon, so we're going to be doing a lot more for the Chicago Public Schools for the 2017 and 2018 season coming up. We will have a big announcement coming up. We can't announce it yet. Yep. And then also, we really just appreciate the support. I'm very humble at where we've been, and we're definitely here to stay.
Yep, exactly. And then also shout out to our guy Dave Smith, NBC.
Oh yeah,
great mentor for us. We love you, Dave. And then also, shout out to Nate Duhan. Check his shirt out, www.vocalt.com.
Absolutely.
Check his page out.
For sure. High Fashion Men, High Fashion Living. We appreciate you. FDF Media down in Miami as well. South Beach, we appreciate you. Quantum 9, Seabreeze Building Services, FireJeffSessions.com, Green Wave. And we got a lot of people that support us and are watching the movement, so we thank you. We do have a lot more coming up soon as well, too. So we appreciate the support. So that's episode 13. My name is B. Hum with my guy Bobby. And we are out.
We are out. Peace. Love you guys.
Have a good one.